Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Well, it's Tuesday morning, September 26, 2023, and it is about 9:20 a.m. I woke up pretty early today, actually, 6 a.m., and I was able to take a walk when it was really cool outside. It must have only been 80 some degrees. It was a real good way to start the day energetic, right? I have a tendency to wake up right before I have to rush out the door, oftentimes forgetting things along the way and not knowing where to go, getting lost on the road rage issues, and I didn't have to deal with that this morning. Of course, the only reason I could do that is because I took a break from my art projects and I went to bed at a normal time last night, right? I have a tendency to get so hung up with art projects. You got to understand, every time you pour metal, 80% of the time it doesn't come out right. You got to remelt it. And then by the time you think, oh my God, I've spent so much time on this already, I've got to get something out of it, and it becomes this downward spiral. I've had times where I got so hung up with the bismuth art projects that by the time I look at the clock, it's time to head off to work. I completely missed the fact that the sun had set and risen again, and I'm still pouring my bismuth. I can't tell you how many times I've done that. It's not a great feeling. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to work in a complete daze, right? I get home after going to work, after having stayed up the previous night, thinking to myself, did I really go to work or did I miss it? I can't tell you how many times I have no recollection of going to work. I swear to myself, I must have missed it. Oh my God, my students must be panicking. I log on to the course and there's no panic. Everybody is on track. I went to work and didn't even remember it. That's how hung up I got. I can't tell you how many times I have done that as well. Fortunately, I've never missed a shift. I just go and completely lose recollection of it. That's all. Where it becomes embarrassing is the following class. I forget what I taught the previous class. Too many times. Too many times. But it's a good thing that I'm able to teach in my sleep. It is so weird. I can't tell you how many people can do that. So it is so weird. I used to have a microeconomics professor who made it a habit to almost say exactly the same stuff from one lecture to another. He had this experiment in his classroom where he would conduct these microeconomics trading experiments. We would buy and sell this fictional commodity based on certain market conditions. And at the end of the experiment, he would say 5 more seconds left for trading. And then he would go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No more trading. And when I talked to some of his former students, I discovered that he had been saying 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 all the years that he had been teaching there. And he had been teaching that microeconomics course since 1981. So I started thinking about all the events that had happened since 1981, right? When Challenger exploded, he was saying 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When 9/11 happened, he was also saying 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The Berlin Wall, Columbia, Y2K, the financial crisis. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2013, and apparently he was in the middle of a semester. He was teaching, and one day the students come in. Oh, your professor passed away over the weekend. Apparently, and it made me think about the last 5 seconds of his life, and I miss him saying 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I really do. Unfortunately, now that sometimes of my life has been so scrunched up with stuff to do and ambitious projects. Nowadays, I often don't even have time to say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's go, 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 go. And unfortunately, sometimes even the intermittent fasting is difficult to schedule. And the reason being that you might think, well, isn't it easy to do intermittent fasting if you're constantly busy? Not really, because you have to make consideration for, am I going to be too busy to break my fast later, right? So, for example, I got to lecture from whatever time, right? And maybe I'm not hungry just before the lecture, but I might have 4 hours of lectures back to back where I don't have a chance to eat, right? And but intermittent fasting brings so much joy to my life as well. And the reason being that I get so much done when I don't have to think about eating. Let's face it, eating takes time, it takes money, it takes space to prepare the food, it takes some mental energy, it generates a lot of garbage. And then you got to go to the bathroom. I know it sounds weird that I'm saying going to the bathroom, but sometimes in the middle of pouring bismuth, you don't want to be interrupted, right? You got hot metal over the place. The last thing you need is to have to go to a different room. To give you an idea of how annoying it was, I got used to just urinating into a 1 gallon container when I do the bismuth art. And when I have really ambitious art projects, I won't necessarily go on a dry fast, but I'll definitely go on a liquid fast, so I won't have solid waste at least, right? And I could just urinate into a 1 gallon container. Similarly, when I'm writing computer games, having to get up, go to the bathroom, come back, it doesn't just take the 30 seconds to urinate. It also takes the 10 minutes to catch up on where you were in the first place, right? And so when you think about it, it's such a huge drag. I know that humans are just such uh, high maintenance devices, right? We have to eat, urinate. We sometimes have to fall in love. If you think about it, a human is just a very high maintenance thing, right? That's why a lot of machines are replacing humans, right? Someday a machine's probably going to make my art for me. Although that's gonna be devastating to me. I think, even if I own the machines and all that, right? All right, thought I would update you guys on how my stance on intermittent fasting. I just think eating is such a huge burden more than anything else. I'd rather be doing some of the more fun things in life. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.